Good evening, my brothers and sisters. This is JB, known as the Militant Negro. This evening, I'd like to speak on the United Slave States of AmeriKKlan. That's Klan with a KKKLAN. The United Slave States of AmeriKKlan. I guess this is another one of those racism videos, but I don't know. I'm just flummoxed, puzzled, befuddled, whatever you want to say, about people who fail to see that racism in America is prevalent, abundant, very, very real. You don't have to be a person of color, a Negro, African American, black, colored, whatever you want to call yourself. You don't have to be that individual to see that racism is running amok. A lot of people figure when we got a mixed race, quote unquote, Negro president, things would improve and get better. That's just not the case. We are still slaves. Every person of color in America is a slave. A lot of the white folks are slaves as well, but people of color, Negroes, are still wearing the chains of slavery. Sometimes they're gold chains, platinum chains, diamond encrusted chains, but they are still chains, people. They still weigh us down. They still confine us. We are not free in America. America doesn't care about people of color. Hell, America don't really care about its own Caucasian people if you're not moneyed. If you don't have $1 billion in the bank, you are just expendable to most Americans in that top 1%. The elites don't care about the bottom 97, 98% of people in this country. They don't care. If all the poor people died tomorrow, the wealthy people wouldn't shed a tear. They don't care. And we need to wake up and stop house cooning for the Caucasian wealthy 1%. This is a slave colony. Mass incarceration is slavery. Let's understand that, okay? Mass incarceration is slavery. Bill Clinton and his 90s crime bill, along with his dumbass wife Hillary, knew what they were doing when they passed this. Fill the prisons with people of color, make billions of dollars for the prison industrial complex industry, market the school to pipeline tool, if you will, for lack of a better word. Let's get all our people of color from the schoolhouse to the jailhouse. Keep those jails and prisons full to overflowing. Make $60,000 a year off prisoners. And that's what America is all about. Profit over people. It's been that way for decades, centuries. We are all asleep. Nobody is awake. We think that because black people, Negroes, African Americans, coloreds, Asians, Hispanics, whatever you want to call people of color, we think that because people of color are the ones being hunted, massacred, slaughtered, locked up, imprisoned, that it's okay because it doesn't affect us. But you know what? I've been seeing more and more Caucasian skinned people getting hung up in the prison pipeline than it was 10 years ago. They're not just coming for people of color anymore. They're coming for anybody who can fill a prison cell and make them $60,000 a year. But we don't see that. All we see on the news is people of color. Well, that's because that's what the news wants you to see. They don't want you to see that there are a plethora of colors, races, nationalities, ethnicities, cultures in prison. I remember the day when you didn't see an Asian in prison. That ain't the case now. You go to prisons, you got Asians. So these people who are funding that vast prison industrial complex are getting off on putting everybody in prison. And we don't pay attention to it. We're just not caring because it ain't us. We figure it ain't us, so we ain't got to be bothered with it. I got news for you. Everybody is in danger of being locked up without a cause, getting stopped, getting profiled. It's not just people of color anymore. We have to work together and become united to stop the United Slave States of AmeriKKlan. We got to stop it. We got to start fighting back. We got to start being unified. We got to cut the TV off, cut the computer off, stop watching YouTube. We got to get out there in the streets and protest. People say Black Lives Matter is a joke. People say Black Lives Matter is a movement that's negative. But let me tell you something about Black Lives Matter. If it wasn't for Black Lives Matter movement, many of the younger generation wouldn't be out there protesting. They wouldn't be out there trying to make their voices heard. Nobody would be paying attention to what's going on if not for Black Lives Matter. Those young men and women who died in the streets from police genocide of all races and colors didn't die in vain, because out of their deaths was born Black Lives Matter. Now, a lot of people say, well, some white cat who's a billionaire named Soros funded Black Lives Matter. That's false. But even if it were true, who gives a shit? If his money went to further the cause of black freedom, of Negroes becoming self-sufficient and aware and protesting and awake, then who matters? Who cares where the money came from? Black Lives Matter being founded by, I don't know, 2 or 3 or 4 people, women, I think, it's a good thing. We don't have a Black Panther Party anymore. So wake up, people. We don't have the Black Panther Party for self-defense here anymore. They were all massacred, locked up, or just run out of town. We need the Black Lives Matter movement. We need awake and aware and self-sufficient and intelligent Negro people banding together with all other races who are on our side to stop what's going on in America. Wake up. Please. Thank you for listening, for watching my images. I hope you get educated, informed. I hope you enjoyed this. Come back later, because I'll be here every day. Ciao Bella, Namaste. Be safe and stay well.